All right, I call this meeting to order. Let's do roll call first. John Bergner here. Robert Knackert.
Here.
Doug Clark, he's absent. Mira Kresovic.
Present.
He's absent. Mira Kresovic.
Present.
The Alderman, Kaufer, he's not available. He's got committee meetings tonight. Ann Adamski.
Here.
Mayor Olson. Tony Magna. Mayor Olson. Tony Magna.
Yep.
Pete Kosovich.
Here.
And Brian is not available tonight either. He called to say, he'll be here next meeting.
Everybody.
Our alderman is here. Alderman Kofer is here, so we got a quorum. And let's start the meeting with the citizen comment period. We open it up to citizens that would like to make some kind. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And citizen comment period.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you to the committee for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. A few of you probably already heard my name. I'm Patrick Leon. I don't have to give my address, but I will anyway. 7836 West Winston Way. I had emailed based on a new thing that Greendale was doing for their own Independence Day celebration, and that is a reading of the Declaration of Independence. Past 2 years, it certainly wasn't feasible given conditions, but it's something that I didn't want to be forgotten about. So I followed up again with a couple members of the committee about trying to have it as a part of this year's celebration. So the ask to the committee is to consider a reading at wherever, whenever is most appropriate, and also would get the most people viewing a reading of the Declaration of Independence. I am willing to support it, to help organize things, but I would like to see a commission assigned to it so that I'm not the only one reaching out, and some of the formal communications can go through the Civic Celebration Committee. My recommendations for readers are this: somewhere between 10 and 15 total readers. That way it can be broken up into easily read segments. Nobody get a little tongue-tied when you're reading that much. From what I've seen from other examples of it, that would give anywhere from about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that for each reader. The recruitment of those readers, I think, is a key piece, and I think it should be a broad representation of our community. So some example from Franklin Public Schools, maybe not the building administrator, but not that he'd be a bad example for it, but maybe somebody from the district or from one of the schools, maybe one of the principals, something along those lines that we could email FPS, ask for somebody to be a part of this, and they'd be introduced as such as part of the reading. Civic groups, we have active Lions Club here, I believe Knights of Columbus, Rotary, there are Freemasons here in Franklin, Scouting. That way we can get some youth participation, whether it be local Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts. We have representation of all, and I think it'd be very good to have younger members who are involved with civic organizations as a part of it. Business leaders. We have a number of businesses who I think would like the opportunity to speak in. In front of it, and maybe could support with donations some of the equipment that would be needed, like audio equipment, whether it be a podium and speakers or microphone or whatever. fire and police speakers or microphone or whatever. Fire and police representation. I think it would be great if not maybe the chiefs, somebody that they designate. Librarians, again, it's right by the library. I think good representation. And I'm sure going around the table, especially if you assign a committee, to think of many other good examples of it. I would definitely recommend leveraging the existing now Franklin Independence Day Facebook page or whatever it's being called, but the social media that's out there for recruitment. I understand that as part of the, is it 4 times a year that we send out that news? We might be past that point. I don't know if there's going to be any further
One more.
recruitment.
Yeah, there is
I know
one more.
there is one more, but that's an opportunity. And I can help draft something that would help recruit people to come and do it, to look for volunteers. Again, very willing and happy to assist, even going down to breaking up the text to natural pause points so that one person could transition easily to the next, maybe doing some introductions, and then organizing those readers. I would really like to see a rehearsal. Sort of hard to require that sort of thing when they're volunteers, but to get jitters out for people who would be speaking publicly, usually the evening before. But that's why I really would like some committee assigned to it, and I would work with them. So about this, I think it'd be great. I do have an unrelated question, and probably just could be some follow-up, but past several years, I've emailed with you about the table setup, or the setup of tables and chairs.
Volunteers, yeah.
Whoever that's assigned, son, who is asked to be a part of that. So I've also been out there enough to know it might not be the best place for 11-year-olds because it gets kind of a lot of things going on at once. But I do want to do it again myself this year, regardless of whether we do this presentation. And I know my son would like to come out and assist with that. So that's all. Then, if not, that's all I have.
Are you estimating then 30 minutes?
Probably more like 20.
More like
20 to 25 from what I've seen from other presentations. It varies, and it can be lengthened by length of your introduction to the speaker. Or you could have, again, maybe someone as a sponsor, signage that says the principal of Franklin High School, the whatever the titles are for the leader of the local Lions Club. But if it were just start to finish reading of the Declaration of Independence, I think it'd be about 20 minutes. Buffer in some time for some introduction either at the beginning or in between as you would introduce different speakers.
Because we're looking at, the day, because, and then, Mary, you wanna?
At one point, I had thought it might be interesting, especially, I don't know if the Grand Marshal would be interested, but an older vet, World War II vet, right? Yeah. If maybe integrating that somehow, but to maybe even do a video, like you were talking about, already compiled into a video, and I could help with that. And then that hosted on YouTube, that would be for people who weren't able to attend, people in facilities, people who just don't like crowds, whatever. Maybe a way to bring more of the community in.
Yeah, certainly. That's I want to give you a bit of a qualifying statement to explain the why. So, Independence Day, other holidays have become increasingly, in my experience, military specific. Independence Day in particular is not exclusive to the military. And why I say I have some credibility, for those who don't know, 8 years on active duty in the Marine Corps, spent the last 20 or so as an Army Reservist. I've deployed overseas several times, so this is not a knock on the military. I think so much of our focus is on veterans for these events that we don't broaden it out enough. So I'm not saying we shouldn't have, but I would like to see it be more than just, let's thank our veterans. We have Veterans Day in November. We have Armed Forces Week in May. We have Memorial Day, which recognizes those who are killed in action. So again, my intent isn't to say no, we shouldn't do this. Forces Week in May. We have Memorial Day, which recognizes those who were killed in action. So again, my intent isn't to say, no, we shouldn't do that, but let's make this representative of our whole community.
Right.
And do that. So do that, but let's make this representative of our whole community.
Right.
And do that. So that's all I wanted to say about it, is let's not make it one more.
Right.
Let's thank our veterans. And again, I wanted to make sure that
No, I
understand, I'm
wasn't
not
thinking
knocking the
that.
military. I have some credibility on this. We're not the only show in town.
I was seeing it more as all the parade participants, everybody that would be at the festival in that way.
Sure. My original thought was to be just before the beginning of the parade, right where it starts, where in my experience you have the most crowd, but that's not going to capture everyone, right? And it might not be feasible. I don't know the best spot for it. The tent has been what was suggested to me. The library, maybe right in front of the library, would be something. I've seen it. In fact, I think Greendale's 3 years ago, I think they do theirs. No, it's not by the library. It's right at City Hall. Obviously, somewhere in that general of it might say we really should go to the tent, but to make sure that's promoted so that people know to go to the tent to listen to it. And what I expect is, if this continues, year one would probably have lighter attendance because not as many people would know about it. Year two, year three, and so on could grow the event. Any other questions or comments for me?
See, Greendale did it?
Greendale did it. I reached out. I'd have to look back through old emails to remember who I reached out to, but that's where I first heard. Remember who I reached out to, but that's where I first heard of this.
Oh, you didn't witness it though?
I saw it posted on one of the Greendale forums, and then I saw who posted it, provided some information. I reached out to him and asked for.
I just wondered if people sat for the whole thing or if people came and went.
You mean in the audience?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't see the video of it. I really just heard of it. If I had to guess, there were probably people constantly coming and going. There's probably a core group who were involved with it, who stayed the whole time. They probably sued them there. I think for our purposes, and especially if it's a hot day, the tent again is probably a good option. The way they're shaded and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you've got the carnival going on in front of the city
Yeah.
hall, and you don't want that. You're always gonna have comings and goings, because there's so much going on in that 3-hour span. Once the parade ends, it's like you had your band going down the hill the other way, and then you're gonna have under the tent. So it's gonna be everywhere, so if you wanna be heard, that's gonna be the best bet, is in the tent. Because you're not gonna hear outside of that tent.
Right.
You're gonna have everything going on, and music going on,
Yeah, and the promotion of it,
Yeah.
it's starting at whatever time. That would be the thing, because there are so many different things going on. Another thought, you've got the, I'm not going to use the right term, the band shell.
Yeah, it's off on the side though.
Yeah, and it's behind where vendors are and everything, so
Yeah.
it might not be good. Again, tent's probably the right spot for it.
Yeah.
Especially because you're going to have a PA system there. You can have signage
Right,
up
you
there. We
have
hang
all the
signage
sound
every
set
single
up.
year. I think that probably is the best location. I'm not sure.
Depending on the volume of music,
I'm not sure.
depending on the volume of music,
I'm thinking on the
you got
fourth
all of
one.
those people that sit for so long waiting for the fireworks.
Oh,
By
like
the-
a little before that, like a night one.
All those people come, if we could do it, by the library and have a sound, he sits there for an hour and a half or whatever, waiting to, save their seat, and, it's a pretty good crowd.
So in my experience, I've watched the fireworks from several different locations nearby. There's the one area that's on the other side of what I describe as the far eastern hill of Lions. The pond's right there. I've watched it from the road. I've watched it from, not directly from Loomis, but near Loomis. The question that I would have is that timing, how many people would be there at the library? And I've been
They all want to get situated
Yeah.
for fireworks in their.
So-
They all want to get situated
Yeah.
for fireworks in their
So
spots.
in the best viewing spot where that is. So how to broadcast that? You know that you know maybe a YouTube channel or something like that. I don't know, but and I don't know what kind of with the PA systems that you have, what kind of technology you have to broadcast to different locations. PA systems that you have, what kind of technology you have to broadcast to different locations. How much of it would be lost if you're not watching a person right in front of you read it. So I don't know, that might be a good option, but I guess I was envisioning something more
I'm glad we looked at that.
near the time of the parade. I was envisioning something more
I'm glad we looked at that.
near the time of the parade.
that's them, that's right.
Afterwards, you know, at the beginning.
Then we have the
Okay.
differentials.
And
130.
for what it's worth, and I'm sure there's some historians in here, the signing of the Declaration of Independence was on July 2nd. Well, I shouldn't say that. Independence was on July 2nd. Well, I shouldn't say that. The signing occurred over many, many months, but the finalization of the document was 2 days before. It declared the 4th of July as our Independence Day. So if the parade, I don't know what day the parade's on, it's probably on the 4th, but you know, I know that varies based on.
Years
But-
ago, remember,
days.
John, instead of fireworks, we had the fireworks actually videoed onto the water tower. That might be, when they have the people waiting for the fireworks, that'd be a good time. If you set that up.
And where we had the laser show there, you remember when we had
That was-
that area?
Number of different options. I would leave that
Yeah.
to, you know, the commission to determine what's the right place.
Yeah, we gotta get to decide before the next newsletter comes out. So it's in there.
Well, you have my email. I know
Yeah.
Ann has my email. He's got my email as well. So please, you know, feel free to reach out. And
You'll see it on the 4th in the main tent right after the parade. But how are you gonna get all these, you know, you got a lot of people that can't make it on the 4th. They have places to go.
yeah.
You know, people go out of town but the 4th would be the best.
Yeah, I think it's most directly tied to that, right? And I think as a daylight, that's probably, because I'm not discounting doing it before the fireworks entirely, but I think you're going to get the most people, best potential for the most people in one place right after the parade. Just got to promote it during the parade.
Public comment, I'm not on the board, but I would put it on the 4th of July on the board, but I would put it on the 4th of July in the tent before the night act. You got dead time between your afternoon and your night act. The tent's filling up, you're gonna get your best bang for the buck.
On the 4th, you're saying?
Yes, because I've worked the tent on the 4th. There is nobody in the tent after the parade.
Yeah,
There's nobody in the tent after the parade.
yeah.
There just isn't.
Yeah.
Well, they do the dance, the next step does the dance thing.
Well, then there's 7 people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not, no disrespect to them, there just isn't anybody there
Yeah.
until you start getting that night crowd. So I was thinking, if you want bang for your buck, you want bodies. They start filling in the tent, and it's already a dead time.
A question I would ask about that is, you know, I don't know what time the bar opens, and I don't know how many people have had.
10 a.m.
Yeah, so the crowd that you have, is that the crowd that you want for an event like this, who might be hooting and hollering? I'm not saying everyone would, but there certainly could be some that.
The hard part we got is when they're setting up the band though, they're doing their sound test, so
Yeah.
the band starts at 7, but they're like at 6:30, they're already starting
It's true.
sound
That would have
testing.
to be worked out, you're right.
Yeah, that's why you have an hour break in between,
Yeah.
because they have to do all the.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking, because it's kind
What if we had it, they can, if we're talking 20 minutes at most, you know.
20 minutes at minimum. I think it could be longer, yeah. I beginning, introductions, everything at the end, probably 25, maybe 30, but I don't think more than that.
Yeah, because we have an hour in between the band changeover, and a lot of them, they have to the band that just got finished has to take all their stuff off the stage, and the other one has to bring their stuff on, so they don't do the sound checks until at least a half hour before they're supposed to start. So we have that time, right when they end, to do it. If we do it, in, you know, later, like Bill's in the end, to do it. If we do it, in, you know, later, like Bill said, between the first band and the second band on the 4th.
Sure.
Or do it at the start in the, because we remember Kurt Bulow He used to do we had him come and sing America. He used to do we had him come and sing America the Beautiful, and it was wonderful. People came they hear him, and he that started everything off, and this is kind of starting it off. If we do this,
It takes weather out of the equation too. If we're gonna do it in front of
if we do this,
it takes weather out of the equation too. If you're gonna do it in front of the library, in front of City Hall or wherever, you still gotta worry about weather. If you're doing a tent, you're gonna go on at whatever time you
Yeah.
schedule it.
and then you have to set up sound and stuff too.
Right.
And I think you're gonna get more participation because you're gonna have police and fire are gonna be out of the question. Because with the parade, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
You can only have so many firemen in the parade and then on standby in case something happens. So that way, if they wanna participate, they don't have the chance. So maybe if we did have it later, you at least have more opportunity for everybody else to get involved. Plus, too, and if he's doing ice cream on one end and they're doing it on the other end,
Yeah.
And I failed to mention politicians jump at this, right? I mean, they absolutely want
Yep.
that. And
We may have
if,
Steve
if not, yeah, if you're not jumping at this and you're not jumping at the bit to do this, hey, I know you're appointed now, but for your whatever elections you're thinking about.
Okay.
A comment, and I just heard you mention it. I don't know who the singer was, but if you tie it also to somebody who's a draw, who sings "America the Beautiful," and then promoted as, at this time, "America the Beautiful," sung by the gentleman you mentioned, to be followed by a reading of the Declaration of Independence. The draw there for somebody that people know to be followed by this. And again, I fully expect people will be coming and going during this.
Okay.
So, any other questions or comments of me?
No, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for your time, and I look forward to hearing back from the committee. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, Pat. Mr. Bill?
I guess I just time frame, it wasn't the last meeting I was at, it was the one before that. Dennis and I were here for a meeting.
I think it was the last one.
It was the one before that. Dennis and I were here for a meeting.
I think it was the last one,
yeah,
wasn't
That was
it?
the last one?
we had.
Okay. Well, when you're old, every day looks alike when you, sun comes out of it, never mind. Anyway, just curious if you've had any thoughts or how you want to proceed. If you want to proceed in this group or out back, how do you want to go? Or if you just back sand, give us 50% or take your beer and go home. I mean, that'd save a lot of time, but how do you want to go?
Bob, were you here then
For what?
for their,
Lines.
No, I think I missed that meeting.
No, he wasn't here.
He wasn't, I don't think. In a nutshell, Bob, we came in and requested, first, second was we paid 50% of our net as a fee, or whatever you want to call it. We were exploring if there's a different method, because regular vendors, I think, pay 20% of gross, which, Jim, John, I should have run the numbers. That might be the same.
because remember, we pay all the cost of
What
the,
I'd be interested in is not necessarily giving the money as a percentage of our sales, but a flat sponsorship dollar that you'd have in hand or committed ahead of time. Then what we would do is sell the beer to make the donation, get an emblem to you, get a banner sponsored by, well, that could be the 4th of July reading if you're good. The only reason we want to do that is we are the Lions Club. We want a little recognition rather than just being like the vendors on the street. I mean, that was the only thing, little bang for the buck, get our name in front of that, because we're also trying to increase membership.
okay,
So that was the whole thing and where we want to go from here. And
okay.
so that was the whole thing and where we want to go from here. And here we are.
Okay.
Is it possible, I mean, I don't know because I'm not like a club person really. Do you have like a brochure or any information about Lions?
I can get that.
Do you have those, a brochure or any information about Lions?
I can get that.
Do you have those out by
Not
the route
enough.
tent?
Yes,
Okay.
we did have them in the. Was the question to have them in the beer tent?
Yeah.
Yes, and membership applications.
Oh,
A couple of beers, then we sign them up. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, right?
yeah,
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, right?
yeah,
Yes, we do.
okay.
So I mean, I'm 200% confident that no matter what we come up with, we're going to do the beer. So I'm throwing my leverage away. But we're all Civic, whether it's Lions or Civic Celebration, we're all Civic, whether it's Lions or Civic Celebration, it's all Franklin, so.
Because the one thing I looked into is, you know, we have to sell tickets.
Right,
We have to account for all the tickets that are sold.
absolutely,
So that would mean we still would have to do the, you know,
yes.
turn into us so that we know how many were used.
This year, if it's okay with you, I'd make arrangements with the treasurer's office and two of us would come together, because then it's once. Because I remember I gave you numbers and then they came back and we were going.
Yeah.
Some
That was
of
the
them
first
could-
time, but I don't think it's gonna happen
I don't
again.
think so either, but I could bring coffee and donuts and count tickets with them.
Thought is, no matter, whatever, you know, say we went with the same, you know, the 50% or whatever the donation is, whatever that amount comes to that goes in toward our committee,
Yes,
we put you on as a donor
okay,
of that amount. You know, where we have our diamond or whatever that amount of your sales is, and you give to our committee, list you as a diamond or whatever donor.
however you want to do it. But again, we're willing to gamble on rain and give you the money on the front end as a straight donation. If we don't make it up, we don't make it up. Then we gotta make it at St. Martin's. Which, by the way, we actually net more than the 4th of July. Those people,
Yeah.
Where you saw what it is to have accountability for all the tickets that
we're
are.
there. I gotta do the same thing. I got Lions Club members that are looking over my shoulder at the numbers, so I count them many times.
Okay.
So it's falls in your court, because, I mean, you already said, yes, we can come, which is great. But it's just a matter of how you want to, you already said, yes, we can come, which is great. But it's just a matter of how you want to do it.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Okay. We will
Get back.
let.
The other thing I'm gonna do, if you don't mind, I might give you a call direct. I'm gonna run the numbers. I should have done that before I came. The 20% of 20% of gross versus 50% of net.
Net.
What's the actual dollar difference once you guys have paid for
Yeah.
the beer?
I can do, yeah, let's do that. Let's look at.
I think that'd be, the one thing sounds bad when you say you get half of it, until you look at the real percentage.
Yeah.
But I'll do the same thing.
Let's both look at that.
Yes, and I'll do the same thing.
Okay.
Anything else you need of us?
No, thank you.
We've got the grants. Pardon?
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
I haven't seen any volunteer sheets for the wall at Heels.
For the
Are
what?
you gonna get those, the wall?
The Veterans
The wall
Memorial.
for the 4th, for that weekend of July 4th.
Oh, volunteers for it?
Yeah.
I'll
Has
try.
anybody, has they discussed that in your meeting yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Dennis is on vacation. Somebody called me, says, you better be at the meeting. I said, "Oh, yeah." They don't like me, they like you much better. But I said I'd attend. Yes, we'll get some volunteers.
Oh, good, okay. Fall, Thursday evening. is-
Okay. Pete, if I forget, help me at the next meeting. I'm planning.
But Ann is doing volunteers now.
Oh,
Ann is volunteers.
okay.
But Pete's a lion,
Yeah, Pete's gonna be in the Lions Club
so
with
if
me.
he's at the meeting and he forgets, I'll send you an email too.
Got it.
And following up and harassing everybody, because I went to the
That's how you get 'em.
night ones, and he
Hey,
too says, oh yeah, I got it all filled up, well then send it to
When
me.
we get to the 1st of July, I'll be panicking for volunteers.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Bill.
Crack.
The next topic we've got is police services, but we don't have the
Yeah.
representation.
Well, and they kind of left it up in the air with me. They want us to make the decision as far as shutting off Loomis Road, both sides. We've done it twice before, what's the difference? I don't think it's gonna be much more than 2 extra people, 1 on each side, shutting that off. Versus if we go the same route as we had the Christmas, all Forest Hill and Drexel all closed from 8:30 until 1 o'clock. I don't think those people living there are gonna be very happy.
Agree.
That's the only way. And where are they gonna end? Because at least with the Christmas parade, we didn't have any vendors there, so they're not gonna be able to make that turn on Schleter. Because you're gonna have cars and parking, and you can't stop parking there, because then where are people gonna park? Because there's that parking lot that we're making on the grass. So there's nowhere to go.
I agree.
So there's nowhere to go.
I agree.
And you
Detour,
can't go up to
detour.
Loomis.
I think we have to close down all of Loomis.
Both sides.
And that makes me feel safer too because of what we have ran into now. You know, because of what we have ran into now. You know, if we have one side of Loomis running, it just makes us more vulnerable.
True.
That's one of my biggest worries, you know, the parade. Safety of the parade.
Then, good, then I'll just,
Safety of the parade.
then, good, then I'll just tell them, shut it down.
And then we gotta get I gotta get a permit to shut all of Loomis down.
I have that already, because apparently Glenn seems to have backed out on us
Glenn
for
did, or
everything.
he did back down?
Yep, because he wasn't informed. You know this is coming every year, so, sorry.
Yeah.
And I asked Mayor Olson to get involved, and he did make a comment, but, so, I'll take it from there. I've got the 2 permits for the event permit and the parking permit, so I'll do those.
Okay.
I'll get with the chief too. Yeah, that's all. So good.
Okay. And that covers most of the parade for now, right?
Closing it all. Yep.
And the Vietnam Wall display.
That's turning into quite an ordeal. Had I known this was gonna be that intense, they've got a few, I guess I would call them demands, but, they did the one meeting with Building and Grounds, in case I know you were on that call.
Thank you.
Are we okay as far as power?
I think we'll be okay with power.
It's their parking lot. I wouldn't want those off
Yeah.
anyway. Well, that too, and people pulling into the parking lot, they wanted them to shut their lights off or come in another entrance. You can't do that where
and
we're at.
if we're planning on using the district's facilities for the restrooms there by the stadium,
Oh,
I was planning on doing that there by the stadium.
oh.
I was planning on doing that.
Well, we got
Instead of
I was
renting
gonna
porta
say.
potties.
we did have 3 coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
handicapped and 2
restrooms.
regular.
But they were gonna be on the opposite end, so having maybe one on each end would be nice.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
would
so
work.
that was kind of with the light
Okay.
thing, trying to figure out the lights and isolating.
That
Yeah,
would
so
work.
that was kind of with the light
Okay.
thing, trying to figure out the lights and isolating certain parts of the building. We can't do
No,
that. So
no, exactly.
That was one of the concerns I had, but
The only concern I think I have is that back portion where the 2 fields are behind.
correct.
If we could maybe stick something where, and some type of fencing maybe?
Okay, on the drive?
Yeah.
That's, okay,
Yeah, just on that portion, because I don't think you can't get a car
Before,
up
like
there.
before the garage, or do you want that?
No, just for that, just exactly where you've got that chain.
Okay.
That little area right there, I think that would be fine. Because our biggest problem's gonna be the, I don't think anybody would drive back there, but,
They can't get back there.
no. And the school's closed, so you're not gonna have any
Yeah,
auto shop or
it'd be
anything.
foot traffic from whoever's back on that trail.
Okay. Yeah, and people we could handle more than vehicles, so. What I kinda got confused at is, are they allowed to park in the grass? I don't think I'd want them to put stakes in the asphalt.
I remember the RV. I'm drawing a blank on that one.
And we're having a tent put up, and that's on the grass.
That one, yeah, that one will be okay, that'll be in the corner.
No.
They have to open this
Oh, the
RV
canopy,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, the canopy's up, and then they needed, if we couldn't put it in the ground, they needed the 14 50-gallon barrels filled with water. Not sure what that means, why?
All I can think of is to
Not
prevent,
sure what that means, why?
all I can think of is to prevent, if they're putting the canopy up, to
Mhm.
prevent wind from. That's the only
That's-
thing.
The only thing I could think of.
Yeah. They wanted golf carts, which I don't think we need golf carts. They wanted golf carts, which I don't think we need golf carts. Parking is close enough where they could drop them right off and drive up the hill and park. The parking is so convenient.
It's right there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should have to have a golf cart.
Where do we store it then if it's there?
Well, somebody's always there 24/7,
Yeah,
so
yep,
it would
yep.
be right on the side, but,
Well, we should have to have one golf cart there.
maybe, if anything for an emergency, but.
Yep. Good point, golf cart.
And
So we'd have to
signage.
check on that 55 gallon drum.
Yeah, she said that if they can't stake down the canopies in grass, 50-gallon drums filled with water. And they said the fire department could take care of that, but I'm not sure if our fire department has those
That's quite a few.
Yeah.
gallons laying
14.
around. 14 of them. 50-gallon drums, yeah. That's not something that's very common, but this thing is huge. And they have these areas that they want staked off that's considered sacred ground. So when it's gonna go up on this angle, they said it's a 90-degree angle from the actual apex to where nothing else is allowed in that area. So the benches have to be outside of that area, I'm assuming, and just people are allowed in there. No flags, no nothing. So, and I'm fine with all that, that's even better for us, that's perfect. But signage, are we okay to have a banner made? And normally, when the kids had the cider and cinnamon festival, and put it out in that area, like in the corridor
On
of
the
Drexel
corner.
by the roundabout?
Absolutely.
If we could put something there.
Yeah.
Because once you get to the school, I don't think it's an issue. I think people are gonna get to the school, I don't think it's an issue. I think people are gonna see what's going on.
That or just some kind of traffic, where do we want them to enter? And maybe some parking, but
Yeah.
like, do they want to come in through like the main entrance of the school and then come down, or, so headlights?
Yeah.
How would that work?
I don't think we're gonna be able to control that. I mean, it is what it is. If you want to stand out there and not allow people with their headlights on, then we get an officer involved, that's all, because then now we're in a safety issue. So I guess that could be our roundabout. But the escort is coming in on Tuesday, I don't have a time for it. They're gonna be at the school first in the morning, to check things out, make sure everything's okay. The escort is another whole debacle. You have to have certain permits to go on certain roads, they're not allowed to go certain mileage. So I've got a permit for the state, cause we have to get permits for the trucks to be able to drive on Rawson. So our escort's gonna start at the park and ride on Hales Corners on Highway 100. They're gonna take Highway 100 down to Loomis. They're gonna take Highway 100 down to Loomis. We're gonna take Loomis down to Rawson, Rawson down to 51st, and 51st to the school. They can go normal speed up until they hit Rawson. And because Rawson's a smaller road, they have to go between. So traffic's gonna be kind of backed up over there a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah.
We're gonna be able to make the roundabout?
He said that's actually the best place for them to be,
Okay.
that's easier for them to make the roundabouts and to actually make, cause I thought we could go down Putes to about the
Yeah.
construction up there. So he says it's actually better to make the turn on the roundabout than it is to make the turn on Putes onto 51st.
Does he know it's a small roundabout?
Yes. And I'm assuming these are semi-drivers, this is what they do for a living, they hopefully should know what they're doing, but, if the plow trucks can take care of it, I would think a semi should be
Or
okay.
the
How
traffic
wide
light?
is it?
It's a normal semi.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
regular semi, it's 71,000 pounds. But she says it's normal in pounds. But she says it's normal, it's not overweight, so we're okay there. I don't know how many motorcycles we're gonna have. We've got the Patriot group coming, we've got the regular Harley owners group coming, and whoever they pick up along the Harley owners group coming. and whoever they pick up along the way, I guess, they come in. We have no cars are allowed, motorcycles only. Only because with the cars in between and people getting hit. And, the only car that's gonna be in is gonna be the squad. The only car that's gonna be in is gonna be the squad. So, it's gonna be the squad, the truck, and then the motorcycles. Subject to change, so, like anything else.
In the time that that's
We
good.
don't have a time for that yet. I was hoping we could get maybe either earlier or later to kind of avoid some of that traffic, especially up on Highway 100.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the 29th.
yes, that's a Tuesday. And then they're all gonna gather at the school, take pictures. There are many groups that wanna be part of it. They don't want anybody there. They want their group, their people, and that's it. Which is fine, because I don't think we're gonna have the room for any more people. A lot of groups that have gone to, like the Wall that want and a couple other places, apparently people follow them and they set up these tents and they try to help them get information on people and to help direct them. This wall is apparently the only wall that's the exact replica of the one that's in Warren like that. And they don't want, they're very, very territorial. They don't want anybody there except their two people and then us. So there's many, and all the groups that were calling ahead of time are all people that want to be involved and want to do things or sell things. And we can't have people selling things involved and want to do things or sell things. And we can't have people selling things up there. Especially
Even
not
sellers.
like that.
Could
They
they
could,
come
they
to
could
the
sell
festival?
on at our festival grounds, right?
Yeah, but no, they want up there.
Mhm.
Because they want to sell things, almost like they want to take photographs of the people with the wall and sell the pictures of them.
Mhm. No, they would not like
It's
that.
not,
yeah.
oh yeah, it's no,
It's
she
not
said
a-
absolutely not. Do we want to do t-shirts for volunteers or just things to put hello on?
I like the T-shirt idea.
Or even a sash. Ambassador.
I was thinking vests. You know, the safety orange or green or whatever that color is.
I think
So they stick out.
name tag. Yeah, they're.
Or even a chartreuse t-shirt.
But my fear is with the people who have volunteered at other walls have t-shirts that say volunteer on,
Oh.
and I know they're gonna wear them. So if
Okay.
those people wear theirs, you know, you're gonna confuse people too, and I don't want them to get wrong information from other people. Towards somebody that has a volunteer t-shirt versus non.
Yeah. It's a good thing to ask them, about that, or once we get a picture of what we could make the T-shirts look like, send it to them.
Oh, we
Okay.
can't do that. We can't use.
No?
They have t-shirts they're selling ahead of time, but they're $28 a shirt, so we don't wanna buy these for all these volunteers. You know how much that's gonna run for 300 or 200 people?
200 times 20,
28.
$4,000.
28.
$4,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you know by chance, does the city have a generator that if power becomes an issue? I wanna verify that.
The city doesn't, they don't, but.
I don't know if the
Ed said they
DPW has
didn't
one, like a
want-
mobile
Yeah.
generator that we could use or not?
They don't, but.
I don't know if
Ed
the
said they
DPW has one, like a
want-
mobile
Yeah.
generator that we could use or not.
Where much power, I have no idea about how much power we need there.
I can't remember.
Cause you get power from the quarries and the generator,
There,
don't
yeah,
need-
and they had said they didn't want any generators.
Noisy.
They had said they didn't want any generators.
Noisy.
We need two 20 amp non-GFI outlets. Two 20 amp 110 non-GFI outlets. And mobile unit needs a 220 volt, 50 amp service. Our expert over here. If we need something like that at the high school, is that something that could be put in or brought in?
It could be done over there.
But could we get a generator with a 220 volt? Is that such a thing? We could? Okay. So maybe if we use a generator for them, for that mobile unit. And then the other one.
I will work on verifying all that. The only problem is just running it, because we'd have to run it to that concession stand area.
Okay.
We'd have to run it that concession stand area.
Okay.
We'd have to run it across that little bit of the parking lot there.
Okay.
That's my. Hold on.
But that street, nobody would be going back that way though, other than foot traffic. So we could get those things that they cover, could cover with.
Verify all that.
Is there a way to close off
To be alive.
as they go down to the field?
Yeah.
Or is that, are you okay with that open?
See how
We
much
can close
they
the
are.
field off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's gated.
Ask your friend
Oh,
estimate,
okay.
like you said, 300.
Well, that's just it, if we left the bathrooms open, is there a way to close that portion off? To kind of keep people arraigned in a certain area and not having them rolling around down
Yeah,
there?
we can do that.
Okay. Okay. And I think that was it. We got
Though, I like the idea of them getting a shirt. You know, it's something that people will wear around and show.
Yeah, it won't be wasted money.
It won't be wasting money.
But otherwise, my thought was a sash that would just say volunteer to do the 3 ribbons in the Franklin colors.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
So we do have that one sponsor that's a tailor.
Okay.
I could call her if you wanted, just to get an estimate on what she thinks the cost
Yeah.
would be.
Okay.
What she thinks the cost
Yeah.
would be.
Okay. Yeah. For at least we need 10 of them.
Just a sash that
Only
wears
10?
across.
Well, because we'd have them put it on while they're there and then put it back.
And then leave it?
give
Okay.
back. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think we'd want them, I don't know if they'd want to keep that and do the
That'd be
gardening with it.
Cost-effective way to,
Want to keep that and do the
that'd be
gardening with it.
cost-effective way to do it.
Yeah, that would.
Well,
And
it's not something that you would use every day, you
Sure.
know what I mean?
No.
What would you do with it?
If somebody at the
Hello.
end wanted it, they could keep it at the end, I suppose, but as a remembrance or something, that's fine, but check it in when you check in and get your sash and go do your thing. And that way it'll stick out.
and find
when
out
you're
exactly the
around.
price that they have for the t-shirt, the shirts, $20,
They're $28,
$28.
$28, yes.
Okay.
And are those, what are they, do you know what they look like?
Wall, and then the itineraries on the back of all the cities that they're going to.
Oh. I would say let people buy those, and if anything, just get. Can we say TWTH volunteer? Or is that TH volunteer? Or is that,
No, as long as it's proper, she said yes. But we can run it by him just to make sure.
could maybe do, I don't know, if there's a Franklin or Franklin Public Schools joint logo. Joint logo on the front collar, and then just the wallet, you know, the letters volunteer on the back. Chartreuse shirt,
Something bright, you know.
something simple.
Let's look at that.
Because the colors are blue, black and gold anyways.
And then I can ask Cynthia, or if you want to, do they supply the cords, or is that something that we're gonna have to, for power?
Ah, okay,
We can furnish them.
Yeah, I'm just,
yeah. Okay.
just something to think about how far we can run
He's gotta know how far to
Yeah.
run them, right?
So I'll get that answer.
Yeah. I mean,
No, that's all
if you
right.
have them, you have them. If not, we'll furnish them. Anything else?
I think that was it.
Any other questions, Casey?
Not at this time.
Well, you're free to go.
All right.
Thank you so much.
We'll be in
Thank
touch.
Thank you so much.
We'll be in
Thank
touch.
you, yes. It'll be special.
All right. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
So how long you been at Franklin?
I've been with the school district. This is my 18th year.
Hmm?
18th year.
18 years?
Yeah. So lifelong.
All right, well, thanks.
Thank you.
again.
Is that about, who is that, the principal or
No,
business
he's-
manager?
No, the administrator.
He's head of building and grounds.
Hmm?
He's head of building and grounds. What's his last name?
Oh,
Strumwall.
I didn't hire him
Oh.
when I was on the school board. It's been quite a while.
All right. February newsletter. It should be coming out within the next week, I thought. It's online now?
Yeah.
Is it?
It has
I
been
think we
online.
got it.
You got yours? I
I'm
didn't get
pretty
mine
sure.
yet.
I didn't get
I didn't
mine.
either, no. I haven't
Just got it
watched
today then, or?
No, there's
No, there's no
mail
mail
today.
today. I think I got it last week.
I was off today, I know.
I
Last
know I
week,
got something, I don't know.
and there, Pete, newsletter,
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
should be this, you
This
know,
week?
this next week coming up. But it's online,
No.
and it's dated what, February? It just says February, so it's probably just got mailed, but February? It just says February, so it's probably just got mailed.
Yeah.
You know what, I got something, I don't know what
I'll
it
check
was.
with Lisa tomorrow. But I think we're gonna get it as we speak, tomorrow. Okay. And then volunteers.
We got
That one's-
one.
We got one.
Now,
5 to 8.
at the last meeting, it was determined UM was gonna take care of handling the volunteers?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, well, I don't mind not having. Yeah, probably at least 10, I would guess, and,
yeah.
you know. And if you need any help putting it together, I've got
Yeah.
lists of who volunteered last year,
Okay,
so that
Yeah.
might make.
I
it
got that
easier.
too.
okay.
And,
Well, and that's what.
yeah, you can't until after that newsletter comes out.
Yeah.
That starts.
And it's
But not
only
Carl
fair-
yet? Who's the first one? Not Carl?
No, Lisa Falcone. Falcone.
And she wanted what, Bella Kane?
She always does, yeah. Well, just before 5 to 8.
That's right. You said that.
What I
Yeah,
missed,
Carl.
she did the newsletter, the e-version. The inserts weren't in it. It was
What?
just, I'll pull it up.
They go in,
Shot.
oh, they're print.
At the end.
So now they're on our page, and I page. And I did check, they are on the contact information, she did update that.
Yeah,
Why are you being stubborn?
she did that today. But the sign-up sheets weren't online. Online. She can always add that, I guess, right?
She could. And then you'd have them in both spots, cause there's no,
Because that's the first place people go is the city website first.
Yeah,
there's no.
Because that's the first place people go is the city website first.
yeah.
If she could add them in as page 9 and 10.
Yeah. I'll talk to her tomorrow. Okay. Donations and sponsorships. We get that out. That'll be still
You want that mailed out? Mailed?
same time we did last year.
Okay.
So we'll be meeting before then.
And I've been perusing the newsletter for the new business list.
And I mean, we can get, see how much donations we get toward the wall.
Have you got any for the wall yet?
I haven't.
Have you tried yet? Okay,
No.
because I was gonna try going to Northwestern Mutual Life. They just said in the financial part they had their Mutual Life. They just said in the financial part they had their record years shown.
Oh.
And I know a girl that worked there that's up in
If you know somebody that works there, then try to contact them ahead of time.
Right, that's, I'm gonna call her first and find out who you talk to at Northwestern. That's
And
always
they
the hard
usually
part.
have to budget in the year in advance.
Northwestern. That's
And
always
they
the hard
usually
part.
have to budget in the year in advance.
Right.
Because I've tried, but
But I thought they might pop for it and they can afford it.
for this, they might.
They've never done any, we have never got anything from them.
How big is this wall?
It's
Right.
185 by,
The one in Washington?
It's exactly.
yeah. It starts out at 12 inches and it goes
Never
up to
seen it there.
7.5 feet.
I seen it.
You went with the Flight for Life, not Flight for Life, no.
Honor flight?
Honor flight.
Yeah.
Honor flight.
I haven't been
That's as
there.
far as I've gotten.
Food vendors, I will start working on that within the next, but send that out to them, so you don't want to do it too early and you don't want to do it too late, so they still need to be contacted. We got a contract,
All set.
yep, 20,000.
20,000 was okay, and the permit's all set to go out as soon as I get it, the liability insurance. So it's all filled out,
Excellent.
so we're all set.
You always do great on
I think
that.
he said he was gonna have it on both sides.
Well, the other one is too, we're gonna have a better grand finale and a shorter period.
Yeah,
Shorter period lean, but they have a lot more for the finale. That's what people wait for and remember. If it's too long, it's just like you're watching a tennis match and you're putting your head up and down.
It's down to what, 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah,
This is the permit.
yeah. So it'll all be
So
more.
we're all set on that.
Because they only remember you for the finale. Entertainment, cornhole tournament. Doug's working on that. But the next newsletter for the sign up. That's in the future.
So
But it'll be a first time.
He needs a sign up form or?
We should have a sign up form for that. Yep. For the next newsletter. And then it is mentioned in this one. It is mentioned in this one, right? Yeah. Carnivals, yep, they've been notified. The only thing he came back and he said, he was kind of concerned about the night of, he was kind of concerned about the night of the 4th. I will get the contract to you when I get back. He's out of town right now. I'm currently out of town at a convention. Closing at 9:30 p.m. on right now. I'm currently out of town at a convention. Closing at 9:30 p.m. on the 4th will cause a lot of problems, also due to the public leaving and then returning after the fireworks.
We've always let them stay later than fireworks in the past. I don't like in the past. I don't like.
We had this way. I know this way though. We had it where people are leaving. We had that incident, after
Right.
the fireworks, where people were hanging around still.
Right,
This
but-
way,
But he's got people that he sold the tickets to, and that gives them the last chance to use up their tickets, and never really had a problem with it down there, up there.
and then have 2 wristband days, Saturday and Sunday. So they'll get plenty of use of the carnival. But I'd have to look in to see if I could change the operating hours. You gotta have it.
That slide and,
Do
what
we-
he does is he stops selling tickets at 9:30, but then it takes him X amount of time to use them up on the rides. And,
Yeah.
They were always open till 11.
yeah, they were always open till 11.
Well, we had one time, I think we had them closing at 9:30,
It didn't work.
and
left
then we
till
told them to keep
later.
running.
Yeah, I thought, and mainly they worry about having police up there in case there's a problem. Sure. They want to make sure.
Right,
there's
because the police are
officers
doing
there.
all the traffic control, so there's really no, that's the other thing, the police are doing there's no police around in case something does happen.
Yeah.
But you guys think we should have them go to 11?
Gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Might have to change your permit or something.
Or put potential to go till.
Tuckaway golf carts I got written in here because Tuckaway's Tuckaway golf carts I got written in here because Tuckaway's under new ownership.
Really?
So I don't know what we're gonna run into. They say they're running a tight ship.
Can I ask?
We gotta ask, find out. Do you wanna do that? You wanna check in, as far as because I think we should have one up there by the wall also.
Just one at least, yeah.
Actually, they're closer to Tuckaway than they are to us.
Right.
But at least one cart for the wall and at least two at the, one big cart from above par.
I'll try to get 3 carts.
Try to get 3 carts. And find out, Tony, if the guy is still there that got the carts that you dealt with before.
I got 4 last year.
Monday,
Monday. So that'd be
4 days, Friday, Saturday,
3-day
Sunday, Monday.
weekend.
And the wall is the
It's-
29th
yeah, Wednesday,
through the 3rd.
Thursday. Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out if Tuckaway's gonna have some other carts like we did that one year.
Yeah.
We couldn't get any carts.
Yeah,
I'll
I
see.
remember that, yeah.
If Matt, I think that's Matt. I'll talk to, find
I think
out.
one up there would be sufficient.
Or I'll go down there in person.
Yeah, try for 3, but if they give you anything they give you is helpful. I don't know if I can get any more from above par. No, I think the E is pretty well got his all taken care of now. So let's find. We should look into that right away.
Yeah. And if we can't, I mean, I'm not gonna worry about it. I think it's sufficient over there. There's so much parking with it. If they can't walk 10 feet.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Do we have any other motions?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting